Yes.
The ketogenic diet, again, very, very, very popular right now. And it involves consuming a very low amount of carbohydrates and replacing them with fat to help your body burn fat for energy. So the reduction in carbs puts your body into a metabolic state called ketosis, which is also a bit of a misnomer because sometimes we can have too much fat to actually cause ketosis. So ketosis is a metabolic state in which your body uses fat for fuel instead of carbs. So it's like going from being a wood burning stove to a coal burning stove. Like it's literally, we're utilizing a different form of fuel. Now, it also turns fat into ketones in the liver, which can supply energy for the brain. And it has moderate protein consumption because protein can be converted into glucose if consumed in high amounts, which may slow your transition into ketosis. There is, again, an awful lot of very flawed science in this. So actually, do you want me to go on to the foods to avoid and then foods to... Okay, so foods to avoid: sugary foods, anything sort of sweet, grains or starches, all fruit, except for very small portions of berries like strawberries, beans and legumes, root veg, low fat or diet products, good. Some condiments, because things like ketchup and barbecue sauce are basically just sugar sauce. Unhealthy fats, so things like processed vegetable oils, alcohol, beer, wine, liquors and mixed drinks, and sugar-free diet foods. So that's all the foods we're avoiding. What we're eating is meat, fatty fish, eggs, butter and cream, lots of cheeses, lots of nuts and seeds, lots of healthy oils, so extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil, lots of avocados, lots of low carb veggies, so your green veggies, and some of the alliums and nightshades. So there's already a bit of an issue there for us. And your condiments. So ketogenic diet has now been picked up by the NHS and is very much used for weight loss by some more progressive doctor surgeries. Keto is now recognized as a weight loss for people who are diabetic. So that's great. Heart disease, it's used for that. Cancer, there is a lot of research now because it can help slow tumor growth if the tumor responds to sugar. Alzheimer's disease, but that's because Alzheimer's we actually now call diabetes 3. Dementia and Alzheimer's are blood sugar. One of the main causes is a blood sugar instability. Epilepsy, so keto diets are huge in terms of bringing down seizures in epileptic children. Parkinson's disease, PCOS. However, I don't think we've got issues. Yeah, so when you first go into a keto diet, when you start getting into the keto part itself, usually, in my experience, the first time you go into keto, you have something called like the keto flu, and it does feel like you've got flu. Diarrhea, constipation, vomiting, just feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Staying on the keto diet in the long term may have some negative effects, including low protein in the blood, extra fat in the liver, kidney stones, and micronutrient deficiencies. And it very, very much has a knock-on effect and causes a lot of bother with thyroid health and low T3. So keto is not something that we should stay on for a long time. Now, there's a lot of research into why keto is great, and a bit like fasting, yes, it is great in certain ways. Now, what we should be able to have as humans is metabolic adaptivity. So we should be able to go into keto like that without the keto flu. And then we should be able to go back into eating carbohydrates. And then at a moment's notice, we should be able to go like that back into being in keto. There's a lot of misnomers around keto, that you should be able to smell it on your breath. You should be able to use urine sticks to see whether or not you've got enough ketones. Actually, that usually says you're not eating the right foods because you have got too many ketones present. So you're not in that metabolic sort of flexibility. It's very interesting how the keto diet has been, again, like Chinese whispers have kind of run through the world and are causing quite a lot of problems. The other things that we're now sort of discovering is that it's very, very high. The keto diet is very, very high in cream. I mean, major issues for people who are dairy intolerant. Very, very high in nuts, which are hugely high in omega-6, and we're on our food intolerance hierarchy. So we do get to the problem that people can be in quite an inflammatory state eating a lot of nuts because of the omega-6. There's also now some fascinating research that's come out around linoleic acid in nuts that actually signals to our body to hold on to weight, as opposed to the stearic acid in meat fats, which gives us the signal to lose weight because we're in, and it makes sense when we eat nuts, winter's coming, so I'm going to go into fat storage. And when I eat meat fat, we've had a fresh kill, it's safe to fat burn. There's a feast, sorry, so it's safe to fat burn. So it's very, very interesting, and a lot of this came out because the keto diet, people were hitting plateaus. They were having like high fat diets, and then they were hitting plateaus of either that, not being able to get their diabetes below a certain level, the thyroid health issues. So yeah, there is a lot. I've kind of always been like, oh, with the standard keto diet, like it just doesn't. I think it's just too heavy in a lot of the potentially food intolerance issues, and yeah, too much fat. And when you start looking at sort of, especially in peri to post menopause, the liver's struggling, all of that fat can be a little bit of a problem. Consuming carbohydrates after intensive exercise has a positive impact, on the free testosterone and cortisol. So again, I personally believe, I'm currently in this moment doing keto, not the nut-based one, but I'm currently in a keto place, and it's great. I notice a difference when I'm training. I don't go into keto flu anymore. I notice a difference. I'm sharper, I'm clearer, but don't stay there for very long. I'm not, that's not really a healthy place to be. I literally do it for a couple of weeks, then start to reintroduce the carbohydrates, because otherwise it's just too much pressure on your adrenals, on all of those things. So yeah, that's a fascinating, very new bit of information, new bits of research that have come through around the long-term issues around ketogenic diet.